Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Nick here, and I'm back with another tier ranking with the site tiermaker.com. And today I'm doing the Mortal Kombat characters from the newest movie 2021 there. Just ranking them. Well, I have 5 classes here, which I'll explain, but I've seen the movie 3 times now, so I think I have a good idea of what I like and what I didn't like with these characters. So I'm just going to lay it right out for you guys. So for my 5 categories, for the top one we got perfect, character loved, nothing wrong with them. For second we got great characters, like almost perfect. Third one is average characters, neutral. Fourth we got mixed feelings about this character, like they weren't the worst, but there's definitely some things that you have negative to say about them. And lastly, absolute shit, where you hated the character. So those are the 5 categories I'm going off of, and I got all the characters down here. I got my beer, so I am ready to go. Let's do this. Starting off, we'll start off with our main character, Cole. To me, he was average, a neutral character to me. He was the new character the movie made. He wasn't in any of the games, and I think they did a fairly good job. He's kind of like the only character to have a real arc, or any character development, kind of. Even though this is not the type of movie that we need that in, but they definitely spent a little more time with him. I didn't mind his power. Like, I don't like the thought of his power having the armor suit, because it reminds me like a not Pink Panther, the Black Panther or whatever. How it like absorbs energy and he can like shoot it back. It's almost the same, except it is kind of cool that he can make weapons with it. I thought that was pretty cool. But at the same time, I'm not so mad about that because it went with his character. He was an MMA fighter. He was like a punching bag. He could take a hit, but he could never win. So it kind of made sense. So I wasn't so mad after I thought about it. And after rewatching it 3 times, I really got to understand this character a little bit more. And I don't mind him. He's kind of neutral for me. Next up, we'll take. Okay, we'll take. What's this girl's name? Mitara. I got to look. That's why I have this other page up, just in case. Nitara. Okay, excuse me. I didn't know this girl, but she's absolute shit. I hated this character. They kind of built her up for a few scenes right before that, like the queen's here, she's going to take care of shit. But it was all just building up for that flawless victory that Kang Lao or whatever did on her. When it's like it didn't have a big impact because we didn't even know who the hell this character was. At least I didn't. But yeah, she's pretty much a throwaway character, very forgettable. She has that, her death is the only kind of memorable thing, and like I said, it doesn't hold a big emotional punch or anything. Like, you're not excited to see her go because you're like, who the hell is this bitch? So that's all I have to say about that girl. Next up, I'll pick up my buddy Cabal. Cabal, now, I thought he was a great character. Maybe underutilized, but he was great. I loved his look. I loved his character, like his enthusiasm and just the way he talked. I find the actor did a really good job portraying him. And yeah, I just wish we had more of him, but he was a great character. Next up, I'll pick Sub-Zero. Alright, now Sub-Zero is my favorite character from the games. He always was, ever since I can remember. He's a great character. I'm not going to say he's perfect, but he's pretty damn near. Should I put him in perfect? No, I'm not. You know why? Because it's his look that bothers me just a tiny bit. I wish he was more blue. I know it's like a dark blue at times. It almost looks black or dark gray at times. But there is a hint of blue there. But I liked his look at the first when he was just like a regular ninja. But yeah, I just wish they went with the more iconic look like the old games or even the 95 movie. And it's hard to picture Sub-Zero like this. Even though there's different variations of him, I just would have wished they would have went with the more iconic look. But nonetheless, he is the most threatening character, I think, in this film. And he gets a lot of the best battles in this movie because a lot of the other ones are really quick, but him, he gets a little bit more time to do his thing against like Scorpion, Jax, that big end fight. So yeah, I think they did him justice out of all these characters. Sub-Zero, pretty great. So next up, let's take Jax. I just mentioned him. Now Jax. Hmm. Jax. I'm I'm sort of mixed on this character, if I'm gonna be honest. It's those puny little arms. I know it was for later when he can get his big arms when he gets his finds the Arcana, but damn, is this? I feel like this character was wasted. We don't get too much of him, and when he gets his power, it seems like out of nowhere compared to everybody else, and it's just like just a wasted character. Actually, I really do like the way they get rid of his arms, how Sub Zero frees them and they like explode. That was cool. That's keeping this from being an absolute shit character because you're like, okay, he went through some shit. That was a cool way to cauterize his wounds. But yeah, I'm very mixed on him. Next up, let's take another piece of shit, Goro. Probably the least, if not like bottom tier anyway of this movie. Probably the worst character. The old ones, we had the puppet. It looked a little cheesy nowadays, but that is Goro. Like he had more of a presence in the old film, even though he didn't get much screen time either. You really remembered him. He was threatening. He was a menace. He was the Prince Goro. You know, no one screwed with him. He was like the biggest champion. But in this movie, it's just a CGI fest, and he fights like the new guy and loses, and he's supposed to be right crazy. The CGI really ruins it for me. He doesn't even feel like a real character anymore. And, his death, while it should have looked really cool, it just looked really cheap. And it's like, I know the old one looked cheap too, his death, but this one is just like cartoon intestines coming out and his eye punctured and shit. Is just like, whatever. Wasted again. Ugh. This movie had a lot of problems with characters. Next up, let's take Scorpion. Now, I'm going to put Scorpion under average neutral, where he should probably be in great with Sub-Zero, but we barely see him the whole movie. Awesome intro with him and Sub-Zero, great, but then I feel like then Sub-Zero gets to stay for the rest of the show while he only comes back at the end, and it's just like, I wanted more of him. Like, I wish he would have came back halfway through the show and maybe taught Cole his Arcana or whatever, since they were related. Like, you could have done something with that. But, I don't know. I felt like he was also kind of wasted, but I didn't hate him or anything. He's just pretty neutral to me. He looked pretty cool. I'll give it that. And, but again, just like Sub-Zero, I still like the old version better. And I like my Scorpion to be a little more evil. I know this is the other like alternate story where he's just getting revenge back at Sub-Zero for killing his family and killing him, just like the animated movie we just got. It was a Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge, which was great, by the way. Check it out, brutal as hell. And that was like all of that story. We only get a little piece of it here, I find, and just kind of a waste. So next up, we'll take Kano. Everybody loves talking about Kano, eh? To me, he is perfect. I love this character. Like, he's not meant to be this crazy fighter or anything. He's meant to be the loudmouth, obnoxious, a pervert, you know, all those things. And this movie put them all together and made him hilarious. Like, 90% of his dialogue lands. While I feel like they put most of their effort into this character too. Not so much in like an arc-wise like Cole, but just in his dialogue and just his enthusiasm. And that's also big props to the actor who played him too. I forget his name, Josh, is it Jamie? I can't remember, but he did a really good job anyway. And he is one of the best characters in this movie, if not the best. And you know he's good because he's someone you never really thought of taking before in the video games. And after watching this movie, you're like, next time I play, I think I'm going to take Kano. And that's what all these characters should have had you doing, which is a shame. But yeah, I loved him. His look is pretty pretty spot on too. We don't get the metal like cyborg eye, but instead we get the scratch marks like over. He still shoots the laser beam out, which is cool, but yeah, I think he was done perfectly. You couldn't have really made him any better. Next up, let's take Shang Tsung, which is how I always say it. They say it different in this movie. To me, he was, I'd say, absolute shit as well. I didn't like him at all. His portrayal was terrible. He didn't seem threatening at all. He does like one thing the whole movie, take someone's soul, but it's like the whole movie does that one little scene. And besides that, he just seems like he needs his bodyguards, his bad guys to do shit for him. I know that could have to do with the rules with the tournament, but they're breaking all the rules anyway. Yeah, just pretty bad portrayal overall. And why was his eyes black like half the time? Like wearing those black contacts or whatever, that stupid choice. This guy was crap. Don't want to talk about him anymore, especially for supposed to being your main bad guy. Not memorable at all. Next up, let's take Kung Lao. Kung Lao? I'm pretty sure I get mixed up sometimes with these names. Yeah, Kung Lao. He is average, I think, to me, a neutral character. He's done fairly well. It's not someone I really knew much about. I remember him in the games because of his hat. But yeah, I think he was done fairly well. He's not someone I'm rooting for or I'm real excited to see again, but he's not someone I was wanting to be killed off either. He was just right in the middle for me. And the dinner scene with Kano and him is great. That's one of the best scenes in the movie, which is unfortunate in a Mortal Kombat movie, but really hilarious stuff. And yeah, he doesn't have much for a power, nothing, just his hat. And that's why I keep him in this average neutral, because he's not that interesting. But the actor did a pretty good job portraying him for what he got, and yeah, he's average. So next up, we'll take his brother, his cousin, his best friend, Liu Kang. Liu Kang. Tell you the truth, I'm kind of mixed on Liu Kang. I'm also so attached to that 95 version, and he was the main character in that film, which is really weird seeing him get like a side slot in this. His powers were okay, the fireballs and that, but he just didn't seem like Liu Kang to me. He seemed like just a forgettable side character. Like if this was a Mortal Kombat, no one would be talking about him. And I still feel like no one is talking about him, and it's a Mortal Kombat movie, but I'm very mixed on him. His look is okay, but again, I prefer the older look. I just don't know what to say about him. He just doesn't do it for me. Not my favorite character, that's for sure. Next up, we got Raiden. He's gonna be a neutral character for me. While the Raiden characters was always someone different in every movie, they never quite hit that mark, and I don't think this guy did either. I think he did a decent job, but again, he was missing something. Like he was missing personality. He felt very stiff and wooden, and yeah, he was a pretty good protector in that. But as for like being a friend to the gang, he wasn't too interesting. I'll say that. But he was okay. Yeah, I don't hate him or anything. He's right in the middle for me. Next up, we'll take Sonia Blade. Sonia Blade, I'm also mixed on. First time I watched it, I'm like, she's okay. And every rewatch, she bothered me just a little bit more. I do not like this actress at all. Sorry, but it just didn't work for me. Her trying to portray Sonya didn't feel like her at all. It felt more forced. And her look either didn't. It just nothing added up to Sonya for me. She has some weird shit going on in this film too. She doesn't even have a sign. Like she wasn't even invited to the tournament. She just like shows up. And I don't know. I just really don't care for this character. She's not absolute shit. She has one or two cool scenes, but for the most part, again, she's wasted, and I feel like the 95 version tops her. Next up, we'll take Mileena, the freaky little cannibal. Where are you going? I'm going to say she's neutral. I'm almost kind of mixed on her because she's underutilized, but the parts that she's in, she's okay. I like her mouth splitting open and like her licking the blade. It's pretty awesome. Underutilized, yeah. I just wish we had more of her because she's a really badass character, especially in the games. And yeah, just having someone like that on your team and just barely showing them, like, why have some of these other absolute shit characters on here? Like, you might as well not even put Goro if he's gonna act like that. You might as well just give Mileena more screen time. That's just my 2 cents. But anyway, the way she dies is pitiful too. I'm like, come on, that was so cheap. But she's okay. I'm gonna still say she's neutral, even though I'm kind of mixed on her. But I'll leave her in neutral for now. Yeah, for now. And lastly, we got Rico. This is another one why I needed this another page to see their names, because who the hell is Rico or Rico? Like, is he in the new Mortal Kombat 11? Because I haven't played that yet, but this guy, he is absolute shit. He is probably my least favorite in the entire movie. He just yells and smashes his hammer like a mongoloid, and he sucks. Like, I hate him. I couldn't stand any. If there's anybody in this movie I want to get killed off so quick, it's him. Like, he just annoyed me. And I'm going to end on that note because there's not much to say about that dumbass character. He's useless. He was just beating Jax in the metal arms, and it's like, and yelling like, and making noises and stuff like a grunt. And I couldn't stand it. But anyway, guys, that's my ranking of the characters from the new Mortal Kombat movie from 2021. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll probably do a 1995 and an Annihilation version. That'd probably be fun. So I always enjoy doing these tier rankings too, because it's just something different, you know. And I'm not doing the same thing on my channel all the time, so it's nice. But that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.